Dress Codes is a project operating in the East Midlands under the Renaissance Museums for Changing Lives scheme. The project combines fashion, photography and design, tailored to involve young people from different regions, backgrounds and communities.
I mean, to hear that this was organised by a museum was pretty shocking, as this was a lot more involved and hands-on approach kind of thing, so it was quite a shock.
A further aim of Renaissance is to take the museums and art galleries through a spirit of transformation in order to dispel any previous misconceptions.
I think it needs to be made more aware to the younger generation that they want to go, because it doesn't really seem very interesting at the moment. Introduce it into schools some way.
One way Dress Codes is introducing museums into schools is via the loan box schemes and outreach officers.
It was a grant given to the museums to sort of make schools more aware of how museums can help with your learning, because we all know we can take the children out for a trip to the museum. It's not always convenient, it's not always possible, and this sort of thing just means you can bring the museum into the school, which is fantastic. Lots of children never ever go to museums.
A museum can't be just a collection in a grand building that people walk past. It needs to be something that is integrated into both the education service, the school service for children, but also accessible to adults, so that the grown-up community has the opportunity and is engaged in interesting exhibitions within the museum service.
It's easy to talk about things with the children, but if they can actually handle relics and artefacts from the time period that you're using, it gives them more of a feel of how it would have been to live in those times or be in those times. And it also sort of develops their thinking skills, because if you give them objects and no information, they've suddenly got to bring all sorts of thinking skills into play. They can't just say, oh, it's black, or oh, it's made of metal. They've got to think about, well, what would it have been used for? How has it been made? Why was it made? So sort of those upper level thinking skills come in immediately.
The importance of the museum service as one of the uses of public resources is something that which I hold very strongly. If you're not careful, just straight tax, unconditional tax funding can become a means of preserving something without making it root itself in the local community, providing a basis that allows today's residents access to the history of the community in which they live. That's what a museum exists for, and it's something that I know has the Leicestershire Museum Service has been at the forefront of that for many years now.
So thus we must face up to the fact that if anything's going to happen with museums, it must be done with extremely careful planning and careful look at the budget and how you actually can achieve it, and try and get as much out of what money you have available to achieve something. And I think with that sort of approach, we should be able to, in fact, increase visitor usage and enjoyment by the visitors.
The Dress Codes project has proved hugely successful since its introduction in 2002, but more funding is required if the experience is to continue to a wider audience.
The kids have enjoyed it so much.
Who's that guy just hanging at your pad? He's looking kinda